What's going on, guys? Stock Sniper Mike, and I'm back again with another Weekly Watchers watch list. We got the same mic, but we got a different mic. We're slowly investing in ourselves, got ourselves some better audio, so hopefully you guys can enjoy these videos a little more. Now let's dive in. For those of you guys that don't know what the Weekly Watchers is, it's a watch list we create every single Sunday afternoon with a list of stocks we believe have the most opportunity to make all of us money on the upcoming week. So today, where we're going to find that watch list is in our Stock Sniper app. You could either find it on our website, thestocksnipers.com, but today we're going to actually bring you into our brand new app that you can find on the Google Play or App Store under Stock Snipers. So let's dive in there. Alright, and when we log into the Stock Sniper app, you're going to get a list of everything that we have to offer. But today, we're going to be going over that watch list tab. So when we click on the watch list, you have all the watch lists we have to offer. As a sniper, you actually get two. One in the morning, every morning, and one at 3 p.m. in the afternoon. Because as a day trader, things are constantly changing, and we're playing what's hot and what's not. But today, we're going to be going over that bonus watch list, and it's the Weekly Watcher. It's a watch list released once a week, every single Sunday, and that's this top one right here. So when I click on it, you'll see the list of stocks that we are eyeing down. Now, we also like to look at sectors and what's hot and what's not in the week. If we find something that is hot and that can lead a total sector to move, then we'll be eyeing down that sector for the overall week. And this week, we're actually eyeing down the cannabis sector. Why we're looking at it is because we think it's way too oversold, and a lot of the cannabis stocks that we're watching here have been dropping for about 6 months now, and this last month got really bloody with the overall market. So we think it's overdue for that cannabis market. And that's something that we're going to dive in the middle of our watch list. But we always like to start with our bread and butter and what's made us most of our bags and most of our money, and that's the OTC penny stock. So that's what we'll start today. And the first one we're going to go over is an OTC penny stock we just recently made money off of, DPLS. Now, we like first green days when they have multiple red days. And with DPLS, we now have 2 full weeks of downward trending days. And what makes this even better is it's coming down to long-term support. The long-term support area is 3.5, so we're going to be looking for it to hold that. If it falls below that, we'll be looking for it to come down to 2.75, because last time before it spiked really hard, that's where it dropped down. This next one is another stock that's getting drifted down with the overall market and on 10 straight downward days. This is OTC penny stock INTK, another one that's drifting down to the long-term support. The long-term support is 1615 area, so if we see it come down to that spot this week and hold it, we're going to be looking to play that possible first green day and momentum shift here in INTK. The next one is another former runner that a lot of people know about if you've been with the snipers for a while, OTC penny stock IQST. It's been trading in a certain range, and when stocks trade in a certain range, they usually want to break up or down. And with IQST, it seems like it wants to break up above that 50 cents level. But if it does break back down below 47 cents, we'll no longer be looking at it. We're going to stick with the OTC penny stocks, and this one is SIRC, another one that we used to play all the way back in the 40 cent area. Now it's coming all the way back down to 52-week lows in the 20s. It's got 3 straight red days and then made this weird first green day on Friday, but it wasn't an official first green day. Now this week, we're going to be looking for that real first green day and nice volume to come in and possibly change the momentum on SIRC for downward trending for a couple weeks. Now we're going to jump into the Bitcoin sector, because the Bitcoin sector is completely cooled off. With the overall market coming down, a lot of the Bitcoin and Ethereum follows the overall market. So when you have the Bitcoin related stocks, they're most likely going to follow that as well, and Humble is doing that, unfortunately falling all the way back down to 9 cents. So Humble dropping below 10 cents was on our radar last week. Now we're going to be looking for it to create that first green day, maybe possibly come down to 8 cent area, and then turn back around and give us that first green day pop there in Humble. This next one is a sub penny stock, which means you literally have to cut a penny in half to trade this one. This one was on the Weekly Watchers last week, and it didn't quite turn around yet. So now we're looking for that official turnaround here this week on INND. ECTM is a slower moving, lighter volume stock. So we don't want you to just go in and jump into this one. We really need to see the volume to come in here. We also need to see it break back above 220. But if we see those two things, we're going to be looking to take advantage of ECTM 52-week break. These next two we're going to be going over are panic dip buys. And with panic dip buys, we want to see a stock drop a large percent in a small amount of time. SYSX actually jumped from 0.0046 all the way to above the 10 cent area in about 5 straight green days. Now it's got 2 straight red days, and we're looking for 1 more red day to push it back down to right around 4 cents. If we get that spot, we'll be looking to panic dip buy this just like GESI from the watch list last week. ZNOG is another panic dip buy that we're going to be looking for. It's an oil sector stock that's been drifting up for about 2 months now, from 11 cents all the way up to 28.7 cents, and then panicking finally on Friday down to 20 cents, but bouncing. We're going to be looking for another panic next week, possibly down to that 15-cent area where we could take advantage of a ZNOG bounce like last Friday. And the last OTC stock, but definitely not least, is NWBO. A lot of you people know it out there because it just ran from the 90 cents all the way up to $1.98. So that's a big run for a penny stock in about 4 days. We're looking to play that first red day. We're done looking on the upside. We actually made over $1,100 last week on it. Now we're looking to try to play that first red day short. We don't want to be rushing into it because a lot of people are getting squeezed on the shorts. But when it does get that push and possibly past 215, that's what we'll be looking to possibly play the first red day short. Bam! And those are the OTC stocks we're looking at. Now let's dive into a sector and possible sector momentum that we'll have the next week. So what happens with sector momentum is there's a sector leader. And with the cannabis sector that we're going to talk about today, we have a listed stock TLRY that is the sector leader. Now when there's big news in the overall world, like New Jersey legalizing cannabis on April 21st, that might lead to these stocks spiking. But most likely we need to see TLRY spike before all these other ones do. So TLRY will be on watch, but all these other ones are on high watch as well to start next week. Because on Friday, we got a very nice momentum shift from all of them as they all were able to go red to green, and a lot of these stocks actually closed up 6% plus to create a first green day after multiple red days. So let's see if this week we can get a follow-up day and then possibly a continuation and momentum shift in these cannabis stocks. The two we decided to take over the weekend are TCNNF, the first one right here, a local dispensary. They have over 100 dispensaries in Florida. They're dropping all the way down to $12 long-term support, but when it created that first green day on Friday, we were a part of it. And good thing we were, because we actually were able to make a total of $300 overnight as the overall market was completely coming down. So great way of taking advantage of this move right here from over the weekend, Friday to Monday, and tagging the bag as the overall market continues to crash. This next one we actually took overnight as well, but we ended up only making about 5 cents on it, so not making too much money here, breaking even. A lot of these cannabis stocks do follow the overall market because TLRY is a listed stock, and that's the sector leader. So when the listed stocks get crushed, TLRY gets crushed, and a lot of these stocks get crushed with it. So GTBIF, we had to get out and take that even scratch while we had it. But altogether with GTBIF and TCNNF, we were able to make a total of $300 to start an ugly week in the overall market. These next two are ones we'll be eyeing down for a potential turnaround just like the other two on Friday to Monday. This is CRLBF, and then the next one is Planet 13, PLNHF. We actually went to Planet 13's dispensary out in Las Vegas. They have the biggest one in the world. The snipers have made it out to good old Planet 13. Let's go, baby. Time to explore. So pretty cool stuff to be able to go and visit, but they're all the way back down to 52-week lows. We got key support spots that we're looking for in CRLBF 380s and then in PLNHF 160s, and if they can hold that, we're going to be looking for the curl around. This last OTC cannabis stock we're going to be talking about is one we used to play all the way in the $10. Now it's coming down to 70-cent 52-week lows. So pretty crazy stuff. That's why we think it's due to eventually curl and create that first green day. If the cannabis sector does show signs of heating up, this stock will most likely spike back into the 80s and maybe even back into the dollars. So keep an eye out for CWBHF. And there's TLRY's notes. And then these last ones are all listed stocks that we're eyeing down. We always like to look at listed stocks when the market is getting this volatile. There's opportunities everywhere, and we take our bread and butter and most of our bags from the OTC market. But when the market is this volatile, you can actually still take advantage of the larger listed stocks. And these are the larger listed stocks we'll be eyeing down for a potential turnaround. Our favorite one and number one on the list is Carnival Cruise Line because it's coming down to 52-week lows of $15. We'll be looking for that first green day bounce off of that, and we'll be looking for the options to play an overnight play on CCL when that first green day happens. Amazon, another one that's been bleeding since earnings. Reminds me of Netflix on this list. Both of those two stocks have both been coming down since releasing their earnings a couple weeks ago. So getting ugly, and then the overall market selling is not helping and not giving these stocks bounces. We do believe they're great companies and they are due for bounces, and we're going to be looking for that in the first green day and we're going to be looking for that possible first green day this week. This next one, Coinbase, is one a lot of you know about, the big broker, Bitcoin broker that decided to be the first ever publicly traded one. Seems like it wasn't a great idea because they spiked from the $300 all the way back down to $100. So crazy stuff. We're at $100 now in Coinbase, losing 1/3 of your, pretty much 1/3 of your money if you invested in it at the top. With Coinbase, we're going to be looking for the first green day. We're hoping it can hold $100, but that's 52-week lows, and that's asking you to catch a falling knife, which we don't recommend in this game. The last two options that we'll be eyeing down are two A stocks, Apple, and we do like the fact that it's coming back down to 150 long-term support. I don't know if you guys remember, but a month ago, it shot all the way from 150 to 190 on about 11 or 12 straight green days. Now it's finally coming all the way back down about a month later. So all the way back down to 155. We're going to be looking for it to come back down to 150 and then create that momentum shift like it did a couple months back. The last option we'll be eyeing down is AMC. This is the famous meme stock that all you know about because it got that crazy spike back in 2020. It got another spike 2 months ago, going from $13 all the way into the 30s, but now it's coming all the way back down to $13. $13 is a long-term support area that we want to see it get above and hold. We don't really want to see it fall below that. But they do have earnings to start the week on Monday after the bell. So we can see a nice spike in AMC if we do get good earnings number after the bell on Monday. And the last two are overall listed stocks that we're just looking to possibly play these first